Hey, what's up, everybody? I am John.
And I'm Kat.
And we are Hitched to Reality. We are here to talk about Season 1, Episode 3 of Forbidden Love. And in this episode, religion really...
You're going to be triggered?
I already am. Severely. So, let's get started. Who do we start with?
We're starting with Chris and Lenza.
Oh, perfect.
The most triggering couple for you?
Oh, yeah.
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 Because of Chris, right?
Well, no, because of his dad.
Right, that's what I meant. I didn't
yeah.
mean Chris. Chris seems fine because of his dad. But
Yes.
Lenza seems lovely.
Yeah, well, and I like that Lenza is, like, she's not mean.
Yep.
But she is convicted, and she like, I'm trying to find the right word for it. Like, she is not good. She stands up for herself without being, like, aggressive and disrespectful.
Yeah.
Which is
3 cheers for Lenza.
Yeah. Really, I mean, like, you know, there's so many stereotypes about Muslims being terrorists and, like, all this crazy stuff, but, like, she is a peach.
Yes. Okay, so we find out that this is Chris's first serious relationship, which to me was not a good sign. No, it's okay with you?
No, I think it's...
I don't think you marry your first serious relationship.
I think it's tough to go from the bachelor lifestyle to a committed relationship.
Yeah, with no other issues.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
With just, yeah.
So you might not have a lot of like coping techniques, because in every relationship you learn, you know, instead of fighting, to have a discussion or
Right.
whatever. You learn to kind of deal with things, learn how to compromise with somebody that you're in a relationship with. And if he's never been in a serious relationship, he probably hasn't learned
How to cope, how to communicate.
Yeah, and how to
Yeah.
like fight properly with somebody that you care about.
For however many, like, high school sweethearts who get married and they never date anybody else, there's probably, like, 4,000 other people who really need to be in a bunch of other relationships to get their shit together.
Yeah, right. Yes. Okay, so we see Chris pick her up from the airport. There's a sort of lukewarm greeting. We talk about how this is going to be kind of a 2-week vacation for her. And then he says that he is thinking about moving to Grand Rapids.
Yeah, did he say he's thinking about it or that he is?
Getting ready to, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he said, like, in a couple weeks I'm gonna be.
I don't know how lukewarm it was. I think it was less than, like, spicy. But I did realize after watching this that if my wife ever goes away, I'm going to have...
Yeah.
So flowers, number one. Big greeting. And, yeah.
But they're also...
More than just a kiss on the cheek.
Well, more than a kiss on the cheek, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to shave, too.
That would be
And
nice.
look nice. Shower, like, clean and...
You're gonna have a camera crew with you.
No, probably not. I don't think you'd like that.
And then so we get the car ride back home, and they're starting to have some conversations about how, do you think we'll be able to have a successful marriage in like a 2-religion household? And then I think it flashed over to her in the like confessional setup when she said like, I can't marry a non-Muslim.
Yeah, and we were not sure whether that has been properly communicated
Have you said
to
that
Chris.
to him?
Yeah.
Like, why are you saying that to the producers when it doesn't seem like he knows that?
Well, and she said also in the confessional, that's what we call it?
I think that's what it's called.
Okay. Is that what they call it on, like, Jersey Shore or something? Real
no,
World?
I feel like that's like a Bravo thing with the housewives.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she had said in the confessional, too, that she felt like they were on the track for marriage,
Right.
but that she can't.
Right. And it seems like they've just got different ideas in their head, because we've seen Chris discuss several times with like his family or himself about how like 2 religions in the household. So it seems like he's planning on moving forward, but, you know, parallel tracks. And
Yeah.
it seems like she thinks that there's going to be a merge.
Well, it's like one of those things where, and they have said it, so she wants him to convert
Right.
to be a Muslim, and he wants her to convert to be a Christian.
Pentecostal. Do you call that Christian?
That's what they call themselves.
Okay.
So, because that Christ, Christian.
Okay.
Well, that's I'm just saying that's where that's
Yeah.
Christian versus Catholic. I mean, there's Jesuit and Pentecostal and
But it's all Christian?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's all Malarkey is what it is. But
Okay, so next up we go to Ashley and Muhammad. They arrive.
this goes about as well as we figured it was going to go.
I think it even went worse than I thought it was going to go.
Really?
Well, like it went from 0 to 100 faster than I thought it was going to.
I thought it went 0 to 100 slower than I thought it was like so there's like something to like being stabbed. So like you can get stabbed, but then if you get stabbed and it's somebody just like slowly like that's what it felt like to me. Where it's not like, what the fuck are you doing here? It was like...
But I do feel like, because I felt like as soon as he sat down, the family was like...
But the other thing that kills me about this is that like he knew.
Yeah, no, he's totally knew.
It's going according to plan for him.
Right.
And it's just like, it's two stone walls that
it's like her family had zero self-control.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, okay.
White people from the South.
Yeah.
Zero chill.
Yeah.
Okay. Missouri. That's the South, right? KC Mo. Whoa.
What?
Sorry, got that out.
Okay, so he sits down right at the head of the table and like immediately they jump down his throat. There is a little bit of discussion of like, why can't you just meet in the middle? Which I thought was interesting because I feel like out of all the couples they do meet in the middle better than some others.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would have been a better look if she was wearing her normal clothes and he was wearing the thing. I think that would be more of a meeting in the middle where it's like, it's really important to me, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. But I mean...
But she said that she wanted them to seem like a united front.
Which I think is dumb.
Oh, no, I think it's good.
Well, but so if your family is against this guy, you being a united front with him means you're united against your family.
Yeah.
And I mean,
but she didn't do anything to help.
Well, but that's the other thing.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything. She didn't say anything. She wanted him to take the lead, but there was plenty of opportunity for her to just be like, hey, guys, this is Jennifer's
we're all
day.
Cool here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wore this on my own thing. And like, I think in marriage, and you say that they are the best at coming to the middle. And I think for now, they are. Right. But I can see, I don't think it's going to last forever.
But they've already been married for 3 years, and who else is even making any effort to compromise?
Well, yeah, on the spectrum, they're doing great. But I think in general, I don't see... Well, I don't know. I mean, there are some people who like to be in a relationship with a strong leader.
Right.
You know, and sometimes that means... Well, I mean, look at Shekinah and Sarper.
I'd rather not.
Well, but I think, you know, there is nothing wrong with not wanting to be the leader in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like in our relationship, you drive the bus for the most part.
And you fix the bus when it breaks down.
Right. And so I am happy in that I'm not a good leader. I'm not a strong leader. So I'm fine following, you know.
He didn't really strike me as a strong leader either, though, because I felt like her family had such an easy time trapping him into these, like, really obvious... It's like they were setting landmines and he was just walking right into them. But
I think I guess not necessarily that he's a good leader, but that he is the leader.
Right, yeah.
And there's no question about that.
Right.
You know, I would never let her walk outside half naked.
Right. Yeah, and so like if we were to like rehash that conversation of like, well, what if she wants to wear booty shorts and a crop shirt? Instead of him needing to defuse that bomb, she could have just said, guys, I don't want to dress like that because I want to show respect to my husband and he doesn't want my boobs hanging out, so I'm not going to have my boobs hanging out. It's not that deep, it's not that complicated.
Right.
I'm not giving up anything by not having my ass cheeks hang out at the bottom of my shorts.
And there's also like a level of that where like that's not necessarily just a Muslim thing.
Yeah, totally. She's a mom, so she could easily say like, you know, I've got a 3-year-old. I don't need my 3-year-old seeing my butt cheeks and setting that example.
Right. And like so like if you wanted to go out with a crop top and booty shorts, I would
Nobody wants to see that.
Well. I don't know. I don't know what I would do because I have a hard time saying no to you.
Yeah.
Which is how we got in this whole mess in the first place. That's why we're doing this podcast.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I can say whatever I want. Nobody will believe her. I don't know. I think, but you know, I wouldn't be thrilled about it, but it would be more because I know that it would attract a lot of attention to you that you don't want.
Right.
Like it would be less about me, but I'm much more like
live and let live.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and do whatever you want.
But that's what I'm saying. She could have so easily assisted in that conversation, like without being controlling or whatever, and
Right.
like not letting him take the lead. But like it's her family, so all she had to say was like, guys, I don't want to wear booty shorts, so this
Right.
is a useless discussion. Let's enjoy Jennifer's birthday dinner.
And she could have also said, you know, like, well, so he wanted me to wear this abaya. It wasn't my favorite thing, but he also wanted me to wear the head scarf, and I didn't want to do that, so we compromised and I wore this. It's not
Right.
a big deal.
Right.
I'm happy to wear this.
Right, I'm comfortable in it.
There's so many opportunities for her to say things that, like you said, would diffuse the situation,
Yeah.
but she just did not.
Right.
Which I think is not helpful, because it's just like,
Yeah, it was an interesting choice.
well, I mean, we were talking about it, and like, so her brother-in-law, so Jennifer's husband, was
Mm-hmm.
just like, I mean, he had the American flag on the shirt, the American flag on the hat, betting he has an American flag tattoo, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, I love America, you know, go freedom, but it's like, it looks like the type of guy that's, you know, love it or leave it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like if you don't like it, move.
Right, yeah. I mean, you know, I just don't know. It's just, but again, it's both of them, because Muhammad wore the thobe
That he never wears.
and the head scarf. I don't know if it's called a head scarf, but the head
wrap.
the head
Yeah.
wrap, knowing that it was going to elicit a reaction.
Right.
So it's like it's oil and vinegar,
Yeah.
and it's like her family sucks, except for the one sister. But I mean, even like her friends, they were jumping in on it, and it's just like, you know, it's.
Yeah. Didn't go well.
You gotta kill them with kindness. That's like my
Yeah,
whole thing
that's
is like,
true.
you know, if you want to really paint somebody in a bad light, be as nice to them as possible and let them dig their own grave. of
Right.
being a
Rather
jerk.
than like being a jerk to them,
Right.
and then you look like a jerk.
Because then you're making them be defensive, and then it's just gonna get
Yeah.
worse.
Right.
So
Yeah. All right. So that didn't go well. All right. So then we go over to Lindsay and Elmer, and they are meeting with another couple that is ex-Amish and English, and apparently that Amish guy came from the same community, and he knew Elmer a little bit. He said he was
Much older.
Right. The other guy was much older, and Elmer was much younger, so he didn't like know him, but they've like kind of been around this corner before. So
that guy's name was Eli also, and they subtitled him as Eli 2.
did they?
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't see that. That's funny. Because I do, now that you said it, I remember his name being Eli, and I was like, oh my god, I'm having a hard enough time
Eli,
keeping all
Elmer,
these
Eli.
names
Yeah.
straight.
It was interesting how open Lindsay was about talking about the porn thing with them. And it's just like,
Do we know what she used to do for a living before she was in the roofing company?
she was a model.
Oh, was she?
Well, early on they showed her like on a calendar. I don't know if that's what she does for her day-to-day
Yeah.
job.
OnlyFans?
I don't know.
No, I'm sure she doesn't do that if she doesn't like porn. If she has this big of a problem with porn,
Yeah, you can't imagine that she would.
participate in the industry.
Right. Because then it would be like, yeah, you can watch porn, but only one.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah.
But and maybe it's just because they're talking it up in front of the cameras, but that's.
Well, that's why I was wondering, because if she's like just very used to discussing this.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, even talking about like, I mean, maybe they are just like really good friends and like trying to. But you would think like maybe that's a discussion you have offhand. But it was interesting that. So Eli, the Amish Eli, or ex-Amish Eli, was saying, you know, you have to have more patience. It's really hard coming from this, you know, really incredibly strict background where we're like forced to lie because.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
Because it's
but
so
that
strict.
doesn't happen yet.
No.
Yeah, that's in like their next scene. But we could talk about that now because that's what they say. They say like you're so afraid of the church that you're basically taught to just say whatever they want to hear, whether it's true or not. It doesn't matter. Just
satiate them.
Yeah.
With words, just say whatever you need to say to get out of it. Or
It's brutal. The like shunning is. I can't even imagine. And you know she was at the ultrasound, and they were talking about how like, you know, now you haven't just let your own son go, but now you're never gonna meet your grandchild. Like I guess in the Amish culture they have to be super brutal because otherwise who would really stay?
Yeah.
Like if you could just come in and out, like maybe everybody would just sort of like
do it, yeah.
Leave because and you know, forgive me, maybe it's not everybody, but in the Breaking Amish TV show, it's like no electricity, no running water. So that's like a tough lifestyle, and especially if you can like kind of look out your window and see like, oh, I could be watching TV right now.
Right.
Or have the fucking heat on, you know, like not need to be building a fire or whatever.
Coming from a person whose main source of heat is a wood stove.
Right. No, but...
No, I understand. It's like you have a front row seat to all of the conveniences of modern day living, and here you are, you know, and pooping in a hole in the ground.
Yeah, right. So especially like if he's going into like English people's houses to like put their roof on, and you can see like
he's even closer to it.
Yeah, like they could vacuum if they wanted to, you know, versus like the women who have to like can everything.
Well, and he's also seeing, you know, women wearing like jeans and leggings and not floor-length skirts and dresses and stuff like that.
Oh, that's another religion that they cover the hair, right? Because I think the Amish women wear those bonnets.
Yeah, the Handmaid's Tale type stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just, yeah. It's
you got something to say there?
It's just, I can't relate. All of the religions that have like the super strict rules, I just can't really, I can't imagine the benefits outweighing the...
Well, it always seems that the super strict rules are for the women and not so much for the men.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Amish at least are equally affected by not having running water.
Yeah, that's true.
More so because they're stinky, so they have to like take their tub shower bath things with no hot water heater.
Tub shower bath things, yeah.
Well, yeah, because they probably like stand in like a water trough and like dump buckets on their head or whatever. And I read this book. It was like, you know, they all have these like huge families and they'll use like one tub of water, and the man goes first and then it like kind of goes down. So by the time, yeah, exactly. So by the time the youngest kid is taking their bath,
it's like they're dirtier.
Yeah. Just, and like, gross. So you're washing with 6 people's filth. So.
Gross.
Yeah. Anyway, next we go to Eli and Lori and the Hanukkah dinner. Okay, so it seemed nice at first.
They were all dressed very nicely.
Yeah, and they...
Suit and tie, suited and booted.
Did the singing.
They did do the singing.
And she said, like, I didn't really know the words, so I just humming along or whatever.
It's crazy to me that they didn't, like, involve her in that.
Involve her in what?
In the singing. Like here, let's teach you how to sing the song.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're just going to sing. And I feel like a lot of what's going on, and maybe it's by design, but it's like...
Hazing?
You convert.
Oh.
And you do it on your own.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to help you at all.
Right.
And it's just like, you know... And I think we see throughout this dinner, it does seem like it's hard for Lori to sort of break through into that family because she wasn't born Jewish.
Yeah. Oh, right. Like she says, will I ever be good enough for them? And
or Jewish enough.
Yeah, I think the subtext is Jewish enough.
Well, she said that, I think.
No, she said, will I be good enough? Will I ever be good enough?
I think she said, we're Jewish enough.
Oh, I think we said that.
I think she said that.
Yeah, okay. Well, who knows what happened. So I was wondering, the FaceTime call with Mom for Christmas, in what world do you answer a FaceTime call at your Hanukkah dinner?
I'm sure she asked.
If I can answer?
Yeah. I'm sure that just wasn't shown. I'm 100% positive. There is no way that would happen. No way.
I was wondering if the producers talked to Laurie and Eli and were like, oh, do you think we could get Mom to call and talk about Christmas dinner? Just to, like, try to manufacture some drama.
Maybe.
Because Eli was like, oh, let me go get your phone for you. And he doesn't seem like the, oh, let me go grab that for you kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And so the other thing I was thinking about, the whole, like, oh, now I'll never get to have Christmas. But, like, you can still have Christmas because even though now you're Jewish, your parents are not. So, like, you're still gonna buy them Christmas gifts, right?
Yeah, and...
Like, you're not gonna put up your own Christmas tree, but you can still go...
And I think Hanukkah moves around.
It does move around.
But I don't think... I think it's earlier. Like, always.
I think occasionally it overlaps.
It overlaps, okay.
But
yeah, it's not like you're never gonna see your family again.
Yeah, so I was like, well, you know, what... Like, not like, what's the big deal, but, like, how she was like, oh, I wish we were still going to get to have Christmas. But I grew up in a divorced household, so I got to have 2 Christmases, and it was like...
Yeah, which everybody loves to say that that's a plus of having a divorced household.
Well, it wasn't a minus. Well, though, lots of times I had to, like, travel literally on Christmas Day, so I'd be, like, in an airport with, like, a Santa hat on, being, like, bah humbug, basically.
Who put a Santa hat on you?
I put a Santa hat on me because I was miserable.
Because you're going to Ohio in December?
Well,
that?
It was more like the fact that I needed to be traveling on Christmas Day because they both wanted us on Christmas Day. And, like, you know who's the loser in this deal?
Yeah. I was more saying that, like, everybody, when I was a kid, like, all my friends were like, well, at least you get 2 Christmases. It was like, yeah, well, at least you have a family, you know?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm fine. It's fine. Well, I'm not. I'm all right. It's...
Damaged goods.
Yeah. Aren't we all, though?
Yeah, right. We've all got our things. Yeah. So...
Just power through it.
I don't know. I guess I just felt like she's going to continue to be able to celebrate Christmas because even though she's now married into a Jewish family, she still has her own family. It's not like she's going to be shunned by them.
I wonder if her future mother-in-law would have a problem with her
going to a Christmas dinner.
Celebrating Christmas. I can't imagine that she really would. Because, I mean, listen, I dated a Jewish girl for a little while. She was fascinated by Christmas. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, she had no problem. She had a great time.
Like her fam had no problem with her coming.
And I mean,
Christmas.
they were not Orthodox, but that's my only real close up experience with that. But it was just you know, I can imagine that if you're even if she was Jewish, like, wouldn't you spend some time with your family and then some time with her, and maybe, you know, because there's 8 days, and you do things on, you know, each day. So maybe it's like, you know, you go and you spend one day with, you know, in-laws, one day with your family, and then one day you're all together. I'm sure that there's a way to make it work out, and I can't imagine that they would really have a problem with her going to celebrate Christmas with her family. Like, it's not like you can't see your family because they're not Jewish.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that was a little confusing to me.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe there is something to... It's just so different. Because if she's coming from a loud Italian family, my stepdad comes from a loud Italianish family.
Italian adjacent.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's some people, I have cousins who thrive in that type of scenario where it's just everything's loud, there's a million conversations going on. Meanwhile, I would not. But so I just think, you know, it is very different going from, you know, a huge family, really loud, lots of food, you know, all kinds of stuff going on, and then to like a quiet dinner.
A little stuffy, one might say.
Yeah. So I think maybe it's like just that cultural difference where it's like so different from what she's used to.
Right.
Where it's like, oh man, is this going to be like the rest of my life?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so then speaking of the rest of their life, we then go to Chris and Lenza and Chris's family dinner.
God.
Menu sounded good though. We had collard greens, sweet potatoes, mac and cheese, baked chicken, and deviled eggs.
Can you be a Christian and have deviled eggs?
Yeah,
That doesn't send you right to hell?
Should rename them Holy Ghost eggs.
Baptized eggs. Starts off strong.
Yeah, so Chris's dad, blesses the food or whatever, a little prayer. And by little prayer, I mean a fairly large prayer.
Yeah, I mean, it was short, but it was strong.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what, it must be just like the hard C in Jesus Christ and Christ our Savior, Lord.
Right.
Like just...
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
And so after the blessing, Lenza gives the, praise Allah comment, and that just opens the floodgates.
Now, I will say...
Yeah.
I think she said that in the same way that Muhammad wore the thobe.
Do you think?
To dinner. I think, because I mean...
Because I wonder if she always... I guess that's something that we don't know. Because we know that Muhammad doesn't always wear the thobe, but we don't know if every time she sits down... Because it was just a quick 2 words, praise Allah. That's it. So it's...
But she knows.
Yeah.
And she said the last time that she met them, it was like, oh, convert, convert, convert.
Yeah.
So I think she said it loud enough.
But I felt like she said it kind of quietly.
No.
Because it wasn't even loud enough for him to, properly hear it. Because he had to say, what did you say?
But that's the thing. I don't buy that. I think she said it 100%. And nothing wrong with it. And if that is what you said, because I mean, there's knowing the situation and knowing what's going to happen if you say that it's going to elicit a reaction.
And it sure did.
It sure did.
Yeah. So we got into a lot of, let's see.
Does the Quran acknowledge Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Died on the cross?
And, her comment about, we don't acknowledge Jesus Christ as the Son of God. God he's not even human, so he doesn't have kids. How does that work? I just thought that was so funny. I appreciated her stance on that. I'm with her.
Yep.
And he did a little bit of the tongue speaking, and she called it mumbo jumbo and baby talk meets pig Latin.
Just a great description of what it is.
I was really
You're really tickled by that, huh?
I felt I like her mode, her standard operating procedure is this is me, a little bit sarcastic and snarky.
She's a lot snarky. And again, she did.
I like her snark.
No way.
I admire that her snark is a little bit more respectful than my snark.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
I can really take it there.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
But I think she verged a little bit on the disrespectful side, but
in the confessional or at the dinner?
In the confessional.
Yeah.
Which I admire because I think there is a certain level of disrespect when somebody is telling you, that my invisible man in the sky is right, your invisible man in the sky is wrong.
And if you don't buy my invisible man in the sky, you're gonna burn in hell.
And by the way, I'm never gonna stop talking to you about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there was no so you guys work for the same company, right? What do you do for that company? That would have been such an easy other thing to discuss first.
And that's why I say I think she said that.
Yeah.
Loud enough to elicit a reaction because she could have just said it to herself and had it not be a thing, and then maybe that conversation never happens.
Oh, it was gonna happen. There's no way that Dad was gonna let her sit at that table without. Because he thinks that he is trying to save her soul from eternal damnation.
But what if I want to be damned eternally?
Yeah.
God, just shut up.
Yeah, facts.
God.
Yeah.
It's just, so, I don't know if you even want to put this in here, but we were at a park this past weekend, and there was a guy preaching. Well, not even preaching. He was trying to convert people. He had a literal soapbox. I mean, it wasn't a soapbox, but he had like a little step stool. I don't know if that actually helps.
Yeah, closer to God.
He was wearing his thick boots too. But I mean, he was in the same thing. It's like, you're sinning, and it's like, you're sinners, and it's like, you don't even know me.
Yeah, right.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I mean, I'm probably sinning is what I'm doing, but, it's none of your business.
What are you sinning?
I don't know. Just living.
I feel like we live as good people.
We do, but we can be mean and judgmental and...
Covet thy neighbor? Hardly.
God. Think bad thoughts about my neighbor,
Yeah,
sure.
but that's not one of the commandments.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other... Anyway, it just support gay people, support trans people. Like, I really wanted to ask that guy how he felt about gay people, and I'm sure it would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's just... Anyway,
But
turning way off track.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
I just think that if you feel that strongly about religion, you should feel free to feel strongly about that religion. But if you tell me about it and I tell you,
No thanks.
no thank you, I think you need to respect that. Mm-hmm. And at some point, it's like, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like there is such a thing as consent, right?
Right.
And like, I don't consent to this conversation.
Yeah, my eardrums
Yeah.
say no thank you.
And like, I could tell you how wrong I think you are and how stupid I think your religion is, or you could just stop talking and we can continue talking about something else.
Yeah, right. Like, you have any hobbies?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, like starting this conversation off with just so much God talk.
Right. And it is funny because, like, the like mismanners, like polite, the standard politeness is you don't talk about politics or religion, and that's all he can talk about.
Yes, that is it. That's the only thing. And I mean, that's the one thing that totally defines his personality.
Right.
So it's probably hard for him to not talk about
But, like,
God.
does he not watch sports or, and I guess, like, I would always default to, like, your career, but, like, his career was that, so that doesn't help. But I don't know, like, do you garden?
Well, but again, it's like you're just making it about yourself. Like, it's your mission to convert everybody.
It's gross.
It's not my mission to be converted.
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing when it comes to people who are that into religion, is that it's A, like the biggest part of their personality, but B, when they're like sort of evangelical in that way, it's like it's part of their life goal to save everybody.
Yeah.
And so it gives them this like savior complex where it's like, you don't want to hear about it, but I am trying to save you.
Right.
It's like as if I'm on fire and they have the water and I'm telling them, no, I'm fine.
I like it toasty.
I do like it toasty.
Yeah.
So shut up and get out of my face.
Yeah.
God.
And then I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mom, but somebody said, like, oh, and how does your family feel about you dating a guy who's outside of your religion? And she says, like, oh, they don't even know. And it was like, you could, like, hear the record scratch. Yeah. It's like, they don't even know. So, I wonder.
Which, I mean, she's honest.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't think did we know that? Or no, I think we
did know that.
But
I wonder, but I'm not sure. It doesn't seem like his parents knew that. Or, yeah, I wonder if he knew that.
Right.
So, and I also wonder, are we going to meet? Like, are we going to have this dinner, but in reverse?
Doesn't seem like it. So, I mean, I don't know if her parents are even in the States. They might still be
I see what you're saying.
in Ethiopia. So I
Yeah.
don't know if that dinner is possible. Because I'm pretty sure she came on her own.
Did she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure. And I don't know if that was even explained. But we haven't even met her parents.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows
Yeah.
if they're, available.
Right. Maybe we'll get a FaceTime.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of these 2 weeks go.
Well, and that's why it's so interesting because, we looked it up after their first episode where it's like, because she's been divorced twice and she has a kid. So it would be interesting that her parents even care, or if they do. Because I'm pretty sure she said after the second divorce, they were like,
We're
all
done
right,
here.
we're done.
Yeah.
And so, would they even, really bat an eye after she's been divorced twice? I don't hear a lot of divorced Muslim stuff. I don't know. But I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
All right. So then we go back to Lindsay and Elmer, and they are headed to the ultrasound appointment. She talks about how she's feeling a little bit better because she's installed some kind of porn blocker and like parental controls onto his phone. So I guess she feels like she's kind of gotten that a little bit resolved. We go into the ultrasound appointment, and he's saying like he's never seen an ultrasound before. He talks about how he learned about sex from watching animals have sex.
Well, and oversharing like crazy to this poor ultrasound tech, or maybe she's a doctor, I don't really know, but this poor person who's doing the ultrasound.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked about how he didn't know about ejaculating.
Yeah.
And then she was like, that's not a word we usually say in here.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that was pretty awkward, but I do feel sorry for him that his parents...
Yeah, it is sad that his parents aren't going to really acknowledge him.
Yeah.
And, well, don't.
Right.
And, but I think that is a difficult decision, but it's like one that you make and it's sort of final, right? Or can you go back?
No, I don't really think you can go back.
Well, but in Breaking Amish, they went back.
That one guy tried to, but he went back to that Lady Mary who's like already half shunned. And I think the church can like have a meeting and decide whether or not to let you back in, but they didn't let him back in.
Okay.
He just like went back and started wearing the clothes again, but like that doesn't really make you Amish.
Right.
Again, you have to be in the church, I think, to be Amish.
Right. And they can just say no.
Yeah, totally. The church elders can do whatever they want because they're in charge.
Just in case you were wondering how Catherine feels about authority.
Yeah, I guess that is what it is. It's not really like the religious aspect that's so bothersome to me. It's the like authority and rules.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing. Like, religion, I think, in and of itself, I find a little silly. But that's just me. But then,
by the way, God, we've switched spots, so when you send the lightning strike
send it this
down,
way. Yeah, on this side.
It's over there now.
But like, so I mean, there is that for me. I find religion silly. I think believing in just an imaginary, anyway. But then there's also like all of the crazy rules and things that are generally oppressive to women. I mean, women get like the short end of the stick, I think, in every single religion that exists. And also there was the whole Catholic priest thing with the altar boys, and it's like, there's just so many things for like, if there is a God, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
What do you?
Right.
And then also like, if he has a plan, then I don't really have free will in the first place. Like if there's a plan for me and everything that I do is part of his plan, I don't have free will. So he wants me to be doing this.
Well, and so it's funny that you said the like. So I'm re-listening to that book about the Holocaust right now, and they talk. She's when she's trying to like she's rescuing Jewish children and bringing them to a Catholic orphanage with fake papers, and the lady who's saving the kids is like, it's like a nun who runs the orphanage, and she's like, does God have anything to say about this? And the nun is like, he is being very quiet right now. And it's like of the entire world and all the terrible things that happen, how could you not lose your religion when you're watching the fucking Holocaust happen? Yeah. Like, of all the things that have happened that have been so awful.
Right.
And like this one lady saved 19 kids, which is like amazing to do. But you think of all the other people who weren't saved, and it's like, how could you hold on to your religion while you're watching that happen? Like, what God would let that happen?
Right. Well, and like, so I went to a Catholic middle school from 6th to 8th grade, and then I went to a Jesuit high school. So it's not.
Oh, you were really beaten over the head with it. I can't imagine.
I think that's part of the reason why
you're so aggressive about it. Because I went to like Sunday school on Sundays.
Well, I did that too, and it was just like, God, there are one like, so half of my days off, I got to go do this nonsense.
Yeah.
God.
Thanks a lot, Mom.
Yeah, Mom.
All right. Okay, so our last scene is back with Ashley and Muhammad, and the birthday dinner lunch has really devolved into screaming and...
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily screaming. They were doing pretty well for being in a public place. I think they were speaking loudly. I wouldn't classify it as screaming.
I wrote down screaming. I guess I'm screaming sensitive.
It's true.
I was never yelled at as a kid, so now as an adult, if people yell, I am crying. Like,
You weren't yelled at as a kid, huh?
no, my mom wasn't a yeller.
No, I know.
So now as an adult,
We should talk to your sister and see if she ever yelled at your sister.
why do you think my mom yelled at my sister and not me?
Well, I think
What?
you are just so pretty. And I love you very much.
All right, and then so there's the whole, he's saying he wants an apology, and she says no, and
It's just so stupid.
yeah,
Because, like, and the whole thing, like, I'm not going to apologize for a comment I didn't make. Like, at some point, just let it go.
yeah,
So, like, this is the one thing. My whole method of trying to diffuse things is to try to be the better person.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that my mom sort of instilled in me. It was just like, just be the better person.
Dr. Phil says it too. Like, this situation needs a hero. I don't know if he does that.
Well, and it's like, so just be the better person.
Yeah.
And so, like, it makes me feel better if I'm able to be the better person. So even if I lose an argument, I would rather lose an argument knowing that I am the better person.
Right.
And so it's
Yeah,
just...
so like Muhammad could say, like, you know what, even though you didn't apologize, I accept your apology.
Right.
Like,
But I mean,
he's
she...
snarky and nasty about it.
She keeps being stuck on the, like, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you give him the fake ass, like, listen, I apologize.
If that happened. Yeah.
I apologize for how you feel.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't say that, but I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry.
I don't remember saying that, but if I did.
I would love to just move past this
Yeah,
and
right.
move on. I'm sorry. That's all it takes. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's not like you're losing anything.
Yeah. Right. Right.
What are you losing?
Right.
You know, just God, I don't know. But again,
He could do it too, though.
yes. And he could just move on. He could
Right.
just be like, okay, your sister sucks butts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to move on.
Yeah.
He wants to never have to see them again.
Right.
In which he said in like the previous episode, where if they say anything disrespectful, they're never going to see my wife again, they're never going to see me again, they're never going to see my child again.
Yeah. But it seems like maybe that's something that he just said in anger, because he also said, like, oh, I swore to Allah I would
Yeah.
never step foot back in that state, and here he is.
Here he
so
is.
it seems like maybe he's just like blowing off some steam,
Yeah.
and then he'll come back down to reality and work it out.
Yeah.
All right, so that was everything for this episode. What did you think?
Stressful.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. And it's just like, again, it's one of those things where religion you need to figure out before you get married.
Yeah.
And also religion is dumb.
Well, I guess that's why there's so many couples who are just dating, because they're trying to figure it out.
Just get it figured out. Stop trying.
Let it go.
Never.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. You can catch us on YouTube and Instagram and wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time.
Bye.